This video is a continuation of my playthrough of Axis Empires, and we're now into the winter of 1942. It's November and December, and I'm on the European map. And I apologize, I don't have any pictures of the map for this turn, but the Axis reveal a new strategy, Festung Europa, and this allows Germany to add 12 fortress units directly to the force pool, as well as Headquarters B, the 15th Infantry Army, the 5th Panzer Army, the 6th Luftwaffe Army, and the no retreat marker. These all go to the delay box for later use. And then during replacements, the Germans deploy 6 Panzer units and 12 infantry units directly to the map. Now, on the map, the Germans finally do capture Stalingrad, and I apologize that I don't have a picture of this. And then there are attacks against Moscow as well, but the city holds up. So the problem with Stalingrad, it's not a strategic hex in the game, but it has to be captured because it's an obstacle en route to the objective hexes in the east. So we're fortunate that we did capture it. However, there is a historical note on this card, Festung Europa. It's a quote from Hitler where he said, "We are fighting at such great distances to protect our homeland in order to keep the war as far removed from it as possible." End of quote. Well, there's that. Now we go to the Western Allies. They reveal a new strategy, Operation Torch. And of course, this represents the landings in Algeria and the attack in Tunisia. So the British receive 1 armor unit and 1 infantry unit, which are deployed to the map. The United States places an armor unit and an infantry unit in the western box. So these will eventually be available. And then the U.S. infantry makes a landing at Oran, Algeria. And then the British launch an attack against Rommel at El Aguila. And the result is an exchange, but the Axis forces fall back. So things are going fairly historical here in North Africa. The Soviet Union plays the Uranus offensive strategy. This is the historical play after the capture of Stalingrad. So the Russians get to place the 3rd Baltic, the 3rd Belorussia, the 3rd Ukraine headquarters all in the delay box. Then they add the 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, and 11th Guard armies in the delay box. And then the Soviets deploy 6 tank and 12 infantry directly to the map. So this is not looking good for the Germans at Stalingrad. The German forces are attacked and they are reduced. And yeah, I worked this out, but the historic 6th Army in Stalingrad is one of the units here. So that brings the November-December 1942 turn to a close on the European map. So we're going to go over to the Pacific side. So it's November-December of 42 in the Pacific, and the Japanese are still focusing on expansion, and they open the season by introducing their new strategy, Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere. So this strategy is going to establish a defensive perimeter to protect the home islands from the Allies. And we'll have to wait and see how well this plan works. But the Japanese Navy moves an infantry unit to the Marcus Islands. And that's all that really happens. And I apologize for not having a picture of this. The Allies' strategy is Symbol Conference. So basically, Churchill and Roosevelt meet at Casablanca. And I don't have a picture, but the United States mobilizes an armor unit and 2 infantry units in the western U.S. box. And this strategy is to support the resistance, is going to knock out a Japanese infantry force in Rangoon. The Soviet Union is back to playing Chinese insurgency plan, and they roll the political table and they get the result conflicting plans. So that brings the November-December 1942 turn to a close. The winter season will continue as we go into January and February of 1943. And to do that, we're going to go back to the European map. Again, I apologize. I didn't have many pictures for this session, but the German troops counterattack at Stalingrad and it drives the Soviets back. Also, the Axis forces in Libya continue to retreat toward Tripoli. Then, during the Allies part of the turn, American units are moving through Algeria, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a historical race for Tunis. Then the Soviet Union launches attacks near Stalingrad. These go very well, and the 6th Army is surrounded. And then other attacks in the center of the Soviet Union drive the German forces back. So that brings the winter turn in January, February 1943 to a close on the European map. So we need to finish out the turn on the Pacific map. So the Japanese are still using the defensive perimeter idea, so they move some troops from the mainland to an island to Eniwetok. Then another infantry is moved to the island of Truk, but there's no offensive actions. The Japanese are just setting up their defense. The Allies roll on their strategy table from the Casablanca conference, and they get conflicting plans, so there's no effect. But the U.S. does move some units from the western U.S. box into the Panama box. Then General Wingate begins an attack against the Japanese in Burma. And we can see in the picture his forces are outflanking the position at Rangoon and striking the headquarters in the rear. And you can see both sides have air support, and the result of the battle is an exchange. Both sides suffer losses. And then during the Soviet turn, they're using Chinese insurgency, so they roll dice on the table. The struggle continues. And that brings the January, February 1943 and the winter season to a close. So I thank you for watching this video, and please stay tuned if you'd like to see what happens in the spring of 1943. Have a great day.